What's going on, guys? This is Damien from the Lookout, and I'm here with Bastian, who got 14th place with Gohan Superhero on European Regionals. 14th place with Gohan Superhero. The blue Gohan. This deck is so good. It's so good, but don't let me do the talking. Bastian, how are you today, man?
Hey Dave, I'm good. Thanks for having me on this channel. After half a year of trading just with these leaders and readjustments of the deck list, I finally did something with it. Yeah.
Awesome. So, let's start with the question: why Gohan Superhero?
Yeah, this is a tough one. So I'm fairly new to the game. I think I'm playing since like a little bit more, I think December or November last year. So I was fairly new to the game. I had no idea. I just got out of the new Dragon Ball movie. I looked up the card game since I found some decks on one of our local markets and thought like, well, maybe I get into the game with a cool new deck. And then I saw one of your videos, especially talking about this new Son Gohan and how he's a fairly good competitor, at least at the time it seemed to be one. So I thought to myself, well, let's try him out, and I kind of liked his playstyle a lot. So I stick to him, and now we're here basically.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice. I'm super honored to hear that one that video got you trying out the game. So let's start. First off, for our viewers who are new to the deck, can you just briefly explain how the leader works?
yes, sure thing. So this leader is a bit special. He is basically a red leader who is covered in blue ink. So he's very aggressive. He has a permanent, which basically states you cannot place more than 3 energy. Um, on the unawakened side, he draws 1 when you swing with him, and he can awaken if you're at 5 lives or less, or you have a blue superhero Z battle card with cost 2 or more in play. On the backside, he still has the permanent of you being not allowed to have more than 3 energy, or at least you yourself are not allowed to place more than 3 energy. Once per turn, if all your energy is mono blue, you can restand one of your blue energies when a blue battle card is charged in your Z energy. And as an activate battle or main once per turn, you can draw cards until you have 3 cards in your hand. So alone from the text on the card, you could see yourself like going all in, comboing all your hand in, draw through 3 new cards. You are limited to 3 energy. So, well, there will be a point when other decks do more than you, so you have to be quick in somehow overthrowing them. So it's a very, very aggressive leader.
Yeah, well, like you said, it's basically a red leader. It's just
It
pure
is.
aggression, refill hand, keep swinging nonstop. Yeah,
Yeah, to be honest, I think the only reason why they made him blue is because he restands to energy when you awaken with him, and he has this auto of restanding energy. I think that's the only reason why they gave him blue. Yeah.
yeah, very possible. So, take us through the deck. Yeah, I'm gonna let you take the
Yeah,
reins, take us through the deck.
sure thing. So I will do a little package here. Most blue players or even other players will know this card. Pan, 4 copies of her, Glimpse of Talent. She comes together with Piccolo, the Infiltrator. Basically, what they do, especially in turn 1, let's say, when you start, you want to have one of these 2 cards in your hand. It's more ideal to have the Piccolo one because you can discard him for 1, then search a pan off your deck and play her. So this way you get an idea on what cards are in your deck and what cards might be in your life. You thin out your deck twice because you look for a pan and then draw one off the pan. And you also have a blue battle card in your drop, which might come in handy for your turn 2. Um, to get even a little bit more out of this combo, we also have like 3 copies of Son Gohan, Wrathful Awakening. So the pan has an activate main, which basically states the enemy takes control of this card. So in turn 1, you as crazy as it sounds, want to swing at your opponent with the pan, and then after your swing, hand it over to your opponent. After that, you can play this Son Gohan for 1, bottom deck an enemy battle card with cost 5 or less, which is not a pan, and then you have a 19k dual attacker on board. So this combo in itself is very aggressive and very potent. It's not like you just play this cantrip, but you can even do something with her later on. And she also has barrier. So she's very hard to remove for your opponent, at least on his first or second turn. Then we have 4 copies of Trunks the Interceptor. So when I played Gohan for a while, I was always thinking about the idea of self-awakening instead of playing a bluesy battle card. And I tried out multiple self-awakeners. I tried out the Crit Kaba, I tried out the Vegeta Double Strike one, the one cost. And then I saw another deck list from an American guy, and he played Trunks the Interceptor. And basically what this card does is, again, when you swing at your opponent, you can add 1 card from your life to your hand. And then this card gets 11k power for the turn. And at the end of the turn, you can restand 1 of your mono blue energies. And this is very, very crucial for the deck, because you want to put all into an aggressive playstyle. But also you want to survive somehow. So good opponents will hit you in the face even more, because they know, well, you're an aggressive deck, you're weak to aggressive opponents. And this card basically gives you the option to have another swing for 15k to get another card from your life, so a hand card which can somehow protect you or which you can combo in. And at the end of the turn, you get an energy back, which you can use defensively, because you will see that there are also quite a few cards you can play in your opponent's turn. So this is a great card, I love it. One of the MVPs in this deck at the moment, definitely. After the regionals, I was not sure if I want to cut it down to 3 and maybe put in another copy of the Son Gohan one. I still have to figure that out.
So, would you say that, so have you managed to self-awaken more often, or you just went with the alternative, 2 cost?
Yeah. It comes down to your matchup, what you want to do, and it also comes down to what your opponent is doing. So let's say I'm playing against an aggro deck, and usually the first time I'm playing against an opponent, they ask on how I awaken or at how much life I can awaken as well. And then they try to hit me as hard as possible so they can combo in or something like that. And then I'm at 6 lives. So then it makes totally sense for me to play one of these, go down to 5 lives, and then I have another free energy basically, which I can use for a Gohan, and then afterwards I can awaken, have 2 more energies, and then I can use these 2 energies and then restand another energy with the permanent of my leader. However, there are some matchups where I want to have a specific card in my side deck up, which is Decisive Strike, a counterplay card, which only has an effect when you have a blue Z battle card in play. Or at another point, I want to warp a card from my hand for the next turn. There's a Z battle card that can do that for me. And when I want to do this, I tend to not play him for self-awakening, because I need this battle card anyway. And then I keep him on my hand for maybe after awakening, when I don't have a better target to play at the moment, or I even combo him in or something. Yeah, like I said, for yellow, I think I would still play the Z battle card, and if I have, for example, my secret rare in my first 2 turns, I would also play the Z battle card. It basically comes down to the matchup and to your hand as well.
Okay, yeah. Thanks for explaining.
Sure thing. Then we have 4 copies of a completely broken card of the anniversary box, which is SS Rose Goku Black Mortals Begun. So this card is stupid for multiple reasons. It comes in your or in your opponent's turn. Like I said, you can restand an energy with him. It basically bottom decks an enemy card. It has double strike, it has 20k, and you can draw 1 card when you play him. So he's pure pressure. And I think this is also one of the best cards in this deck. You can play him basically turn 2, because this deck is very, very good at charging Z energy fast. And maybe Bandai did not think about this deck when they designed this card. Oh, this card was printed earlier, right? Yeah, maybe they did, but yeah, whatever. Really, really good staple card in this deck.
Yeah, terrifyingly good card in this deck.
Yeah, it's always like my opponent is trying to figure out if they should combo higher when they're attacking or not, because they're afraid of this card, bottom decking the attacking card. Then we have 4 copies of Son Goku and Vegeta, Immortal Rivalry. You can do many shenanigans with this card. Basically, it's very strong to charge it, because it has an effect in your Z energy. If you drop a hand card and you pay 1, you can use 2 mono blue battle cards with 5k combo power in a combo. Additionally, if you have at this point in time 3 or more cards in your combo area, you can play him off of your Z energy. He has deflect 15k, and when he comes in play, you can draw another card. So this card is very good defensively. When your opponent thinks, okay, you just have 1 energy, what should happen? I go all in, okay, no negates, easy. And then you just tap 1 for him, you combo in like 3 cards, you're at 15k combo power, you play him, you draw another card, which you can combo in, then you draw 3 new cards of your leader, which you can combo in. So he allows for many things. And he also allows for a nice combination. When you pair him up with Son Gohan and Piccolo, Heroic Team. One of the only 8-drops in this whole deck list. He comes for 1 blue or 1 yellow if you have 3 or more yellow or blue cards in your combo area in your active battle step. You might have noticed that your leader loses the ability to draw 1 once awakened. This card is basically your draw 1 of your awakened leader. So when he swings, you can draw 1. He's a dual attacker, limit 1. He also has the limit 1 effect. You can draw 1 when you swing. And if your opponent has a battle card in play, he gets a 5k push. So ideally, in turn 2, you not only get the pan out, or you don't only give your opponent the pan to play the Son Gohan, but you also give the pan to your opponent in rest mode, because then he gets the 5k combo power, or the 5k power for the first swing, and you can draw a card either way. But you can make sure he gets the push. So the pan is good because of that card as well. And he really comes in handy if you can get him off turn 2, since you want to combo in your hand anyways, because you want to basically draw 3 new cards. And the combo of them is also nice. Yeah. Then one of the more recent cards is 2 copies of Oop.
This one is
Full
awesome.
Strength Blow.
Yeah.
I think we see him in every deck list for blue, or most deck list for blue.
It's phenomenal. It's so stupid good.
He is really stupid. He's really stupid. You can basically play him turn 2 if your opponent has 2 or more Z energy. He's 30k deflect double strike. When he hits the board, he's an 8 cost. So it's really hard to hit him when he goes into play. And if your opponent has 3 or more energy, you can even like put 3 of his cards, battle cards, from the battle area or from his drop into Z energy. And this allows basically me as an aggro player to disable my opponent's sparking negates, which is very, very cool, and I love to do that. Or I can get rid of cards which my opponent can combo in defensively, right? And it also punishes the enemy for countering, because you will notice in this deck you have like easily 7 Z energy by yourself. You don't even need your opponent to have any Z energy at all for the second effect to come into play, which is awesome by itself. However, I think he's more like a turn 3 play, if at all. Comes really also down to your opponent if he is charging Z energy. Because if your opponent is not charging Z energy at all, like for example, some old decks do, you will never play him, because you're stuck at 3 energies anyway. And you will just combo him off or use him as energy. Then the secret rare of choice. I mean, there is no other secret rare for this deck that really makes sense. He's completely busted. You can play him for free by bottom decking 2 hand cards, because he can restand to energy, or he can restand himself. He bottom decks alive all of the time, because you will always have a hand size not as big as your opponent, because you always tend to be at 3 cards in hand, or even less when you play him than at 0. So you bottom deck alive. He's also finisher, because he's not restricted to bottom deck alive when your opponent is at 1 life as well. You can also beam that. He's crazy good. And he's winning me so many games, because in this deck you draw so much. You will kinda always see him. I think I see him in 80% of my games. He is really, 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 really good. I love this
It's
card.
really, really stupid good. Like, it's wow.
Yeah. It's crazy how this is a blue and not a red card. I'm
Yes.
still trying to process this. Yeah.
You know, when they were, sorry for interrupting you, when they were spoiling BT19,
Yeah.
at that period of time we already had SSB Kaioken, I think, but like
Yeah.
the best blue SCR was Baby Hatch. Period. It was Baby Hatch.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
it was always a question like blue SCRs were usually ones that you skip, because like it's never gonna beat Baby Hatch. Like it has to have like win the game on it to be better
Yeah.
than gain an extra. And then they spoiled this one, and you don't see Baby Hatch anymore. Like it's just this
Yeah.
one now.
Baby Hatch is gone. Nowadays, you either play blue-green to get Android 21 off, or you just play him and win the game, basically. So he is the win the game card in some extent.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's about the offensive part. I guess most of it. Now we come to the defensive part with another completely broken card, in my opinion. Son Gohan, Power Unshackled.
This is
Maybe you remember him from the Gamma decks that were broken as well due to their infinite amount of floodgates. You can also play this card, or this card was designed for this deck in the first place. So he comes for 1 after you comboed him off from your hand, which is interesting, because in the enemy turn, they will attack you. Then you will combo him in, and maybe him in him. And then maybe another card, another blue card from your hand. Then first comes the Z charge phase. So you will charge a blue card, then restanding an energy, and then you can immediately play him afterwards. And then your opponent either has to clear it, because you can activate his floodgate effect in your turn, or he just knows, okay, next turn I will get floodgated, or after my opponent's next turn I will have this floodgate on board. He's also very good if the opponent starts and you know you're playing against a floodgate heavy deck. So, for example, yellow, you just play him when the opponent is not able to play, for example, a card that negates your skills. And then you can immediately activate his floodgate effect. And I played games against yellow where I saw this card like 3 turns after each other, and I just floodgated them to hell. And they could not do anything, because yellow tends to have no 2-cost or lower battle cards without barrier. So especially against Frieza Swap, this card was my MVP for the day. Yeah, brokenly good card.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Then to a card I'm debating whether I want to switch it or not. Pilaf and My Cunning Trio. So the thing about negates in this deck is that you want your opponent to give you a combo step, or an active battle step or defense step. Because most of your stuff is happening there. You can play the Rosé there, you can play the Ultimate Duo there, so the Son Gohan, Son Goku, and Vegeta Immortal Rivalry there. You can do lots of stuff there. You need your combo phase for restanding energy as well. So I was debating with myself if a hard floodgate like Defending Friends is really good. Because usually then I'm like at 2 hand cards maybe, or even less. And then my opponent just tells me, okay, it's your turn, and leaves all his energy open. And then I'm stuck at just maybe 1 or 2 hand cards without me having the ability to draw 3 new cards, because I want to cycle quickly through my deck. So I thought to myself as a last minute decision, maybe I switch Defending Friends out for Pilaf Mai and Shu, because they are a counter attack card that just plays himself without stopping the opponent's attack, which is somehow also risky, However, it enables you to have a combo step as well. And you can negate a keyword skill when they come, you can draw another card when they come, and once per turn, you can bottom deck a combo card they used. So you can deny them to charge Z energy if you do not want them to have it, or you can just deny them additional combo power, which is also very great. I'm not sure if this card is the best counter attack card for this deck, and I think I will not know it for the next few years, because it always depends on the matchup. And maybe this might be a card which you could change out for a side deck card if you have another negate running in your side deck, and then depending on the matchup decide. In the first round, I played against a yellow Babidi, which was very aggressive. And this card really came in clutch in that match because I could deny double strikes, dual attacks. I could deny comboing in cards. So in this game, it was very good. In the other games, he did not see much play, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, but it is a very good one. I would argue that, like, in a different deck, and if, for example, Buu Unison wasn't limited, this card would have been insane. Like Pilachu and Mai. In a different deck, if it wasn't limited as well. But now, yeah, it's still it's not completely bad. But like you said, there might be some better choices down the line.
Yeah. I also tried out at some point Son Goku and Vegeta Saiyan Synergy as a negate, just to force my opponent to either hit Saiyan Synergy or give me a Sensu Bean for free while bottom decking my negate so I can draw into it later. There are different options. I think whatever you decide on, what your best counter attack option is, you should be very aware that it might have combo power, because you want to use it as a combo power as well, if it's needed. Yeah. Then we go to the super combo hell, because I have like 12 super combo cards in my deck. Just 4 of them have the super combo tag though. So let's start with them maybe. We have Son Goku, Interplanetary Training. Really good card. I don't have to get to 4 life to use it. A Z battle card, a Z leader, or 2 Z energy is more than enough to let me draw a card. And he has 10k combo power at base. It got errated shortly after printing. He's really good. So like I said, Vegeta, the Disciplined Warrior, is only up when you have 4 or less life. And there are times you don't want to go to 4 or less lives. And you don't maybe have the Trunks to put you down to 4 less life. And you can immediately use him basically turn 2 to get more aggression, to draw more cards. I think he is by far the best super combo for this deck.
Yeah, I think that's like definitely the right choice. Because like you said, you want to be as offensive as possible as soon as possible. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't want to wait, and I don't want to be... I want to be as independent as possible from my opponent and his attacks, basically. Then we have 4 copies of Android 18 Perfection Spray.
Okay.
So, yeah. I get this reaction a lot, actually. Maybe you know her. 1 second. Maybe you know her, because this is the card most people know or do know.
Yeah.
So they are very similar. Supreme Kai of Time is basically just here for comboing, as well as Android 18 Perfection Spray. Supreme Kai of Kai has the effect that when you have 5 or less cards in your hand, she gets an additional 5k combo power. So she gets a 0 cost 10k combo power in this deck at turn 2, basically. And you don't have any problems in having her in your hand. You can still combo her off in turn 1 if you're stuck at maybe more hand cards, no problem. This card is similar. Android 18 cost 1 to combo, but gives 10k combo power, and her permanent states that when you have 5 or less cards in your hand, she loses 1 combo cost and gets reduced to 0. So when you directly compare them, you would say that this card is basically better. I can't charge both of them, because they're not mono blue, and I will lose an important effect of my leader card if I'm charging something not mono blue. However, she is better just for the reason that she's partly yellow. And this might sound stupid, but there were so many instances in my past games where I tried to get off this dude in turn 2, and I could not because I had a black card in my combo area. Because Gohan and Piccolo can only enter battle when you have 3 or more yellow and or blue battle cards in your combo area. And she is yellow. So this is the reason why she's at 4, while Supreme Kai of Time is at 2. Objectively,
awesome
she's the better choice. For this deck, because of this card, she's the better choice.
Awesome tech. Definitely.
Then, to round the super combo area up, we have 2 copies of Shu, Deluge of Power. He's also a pseudo super combo, which gets a 5k combo power boost when you combo with him for a blue battle card. So basically, when you're attacking with a blue battle card and you combo him in, he's not a 5k combo power, but a 10k combo power. The reason why I'm running only 2 copies of him is because I cannot use this additional combo power on my leader. And I played around with the amounts of Supreme Kais of Time, Shoes, and Android 18s. I'm pretty sure that this is perfect. I'm not sure if this is perfect. The advantage Shu has, I can charge him. The advantage Supreme Kai of Time has, I can use her to also buff my leader even more with a 10k boost. And I found that I somehow need both, at least a little bit. And he's also live when I have more than 5 cards in my hand for the 10k boost. So in turn 1, when you want to, in turn 2, when you want to attack with your pan, I often use the Shu for the pan, so I have a 14k pan. Firstly, my opponent is very irritated why I swing with a pan at all. And then he often does not care, because he thinks, well, you comboed in a card with your pan, whatever, I take the life, I will awaken soon anyway. And so you get a free hit with the Shu pan combo, which is really, really nice. And then to the 2 last cards of the main deck. 2 copies of Koitsukai.
Yeah, to deal with floodgates.
Yeah, exactly. I was also running for a short period of time like Overrealm cards. However, we have such a floodgate heavy meta with Uneasing Awakened Rage or Yellow basically running around.
Yeah, basically yellow, yeah.
Yeah, basically yellow. It's all yellow all over the place. That this card is very, very good. First off, it is also a way to search my secret rare if I have not seen it in turn 3, let's say. Because I can bottom deck 2 hand cards and draw up to 2 new cards, which is awesome. And then every time my opponent is playing a battle card in my turn with 20k power or less, he warps 2 cards. And this does count for, let's say, token negates. This does count for other floodgates, as long as they are 20k power or less. This card is really, really good. I love having it in my main deck, actually. And I would not kick it out for another card.
Yeah, so that's the main deck. Yeah,
that's the main deck. Yes, that's the main deck. And now we go to the Z deck first. Like I said in the beginning, you need a blue Z battle card with superhero in its tag with 2 cost or more to awaken. There are just 2 targets you can choose. There is either the Vegeta Stronger Together or the Son Goku Stronger Together. Most of the times I play the Vegeta, just because he costs 1 Z energy less. When both cards come into play, at least in the deck I'm playing, my opponent has to bottom deck hand cards until he has only 10 in his hand left. This rarely happens in my turn 2. This does happen more in my turn 3, especially when I'm playing against draw heavy decks. However, the second effect is nice. When I'm swinging with him, I can warp one of my blue battle cards, one of my blue hand cards, not battle cards, not limited to battle cards, hand cards, and then use a card off of my drop, mono blue with 5k combo power, with skills negated for the turn. And this is pretty nice, because usually in turn 1, like I said, I discard the Piccolo to play a pan, so I immediately have a 5k combo buddy in my drop, which I can use for the Vegeta's effect, and then I can warp, for example, an Oop, or another Gohan and Piccolo if I do not want to play 2, or my Secret Rare, and get rid of this card so it's not stuck in my hand, so I can draw 3 new cards in that turn. It's really cool.
Yeah.
The second target is the Son Goku Stronger Together. He mainly has the advantage for turn 2 that he also has Barrier. So both have Deflect, but he also has Barrier. So there were times when I played against Android 21, especially the expert one, and they left 2 energies open. And this was the time I was immediately alarmed, because I know, okay, now they can play Kuzu. And when they kill off my Vegeta, before I can awaken, they will stop my whole aggressive playstyle. So I was playing the Son Goku. They still reacted with a Kuzu, not knowing he had Barrier, even though I announced it. It was not in the regionals, it was past regionals somewhere. And he's really good. So he's the safe Awakener, and he's the Awaken part if you know your opponent cannot kill that card before you awaken, which it's hard for them to do because he has Deflect anyway, but still. Goku also has the advantage, I'm playing targets that have 2 character names, mainly the Gohan Piccolo card and also the Son Goku Vegeta card. And here's an Activate Battle. If you remove him from the game, you can give one of those 2 characters a 10k push and triple strike for the attack.
Yeah,
and this sometimes also catches your opponent off guard.
Yeah, that's like all of a sudden it's like a colossal swing. Especially because, usually when we see these Goku in some decks, it's for hand regulation, and people forget the other part of the text, and then it's just, oh look, I just swing Gohan Piccolo 29k's triple strike now.
Yep. This happens often that you catch them by surprise, especially when you're playing against Floodgate heavy decks and they're stuck on 3 lives. You can catch them off guard pretty well. It's fun. Then, because we have 3 spaces left, we have 1 copy of Son Goku, Awakened Onslaught. He's mainly here because he costs 1, and it's no problem to sacrifice 3 Z energy. The rest of his effects I do use rarely. As you might have seen, there's no extra card in my main deck, so I cannot use the second effect. And the first effect, well, I rarely use it. He's just a 1-cost 15k buddy when I use him.
He's just like, every color has one of these. Like, he's just a beater, and that's it.
Exactly. Then we have 1 copy of Beerus. This dude is crazy good. I did not see it when I started this deck, because this deck has just 3 energy, and to get full use of his effect, you need to play him, and then for 2 more, you need to restand him, basically. However, especially when I play my Secret Rare, or if I get him off turn 2, and then my opponent for some reason let him live, he is really clutch. So basically, he swings 3 times for 15, 20, and 25. He removes up to 4 cards, 1 ignoring Barrier. He's stupid, and he even has Barrier. So, yeah, crazy good card.
Stupid good card, yeah.
And then 1 copy of Cell, also crazy stupid card. Because basically, or most of the times, he's a 25k deflect critical dual attacker. Because there will be a battle card which might have cost 5 or less on your opponent's battle side. And especially in the late game, it's hard for your opponent when you go all in and he has to sacrifice his hand to somehow keep up, to then restand another 2 25k swings. So also very good card. Sadly, he rarely gets the triple strike, but I mean, that's just extra.
Yeah, but it's just like board wipe and swing. Like, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Then onto the sideboard. I think this is the most busted sideboard card, and will be if Bandai will not hit it in the future.
Yeah, this one's been around forever. I don't see this one ever going away.
Yeah, when I looked at the BT22 decks, nearly all of them play 15k buddies buy skills to awaken or to do stuff. So I think this card will stick around in sideboards even more. He's also a very good way to answer Gohan, the BT21 Gohan, if he blindly put Vegeta and Trunks under the time chamber. Because you can punish him. Either he plays the Z battle card and executes BMS and can then not put the Sangoku and Gohan under the time chamber, or he just drops 2 cards. You know, it's up to your opponent basically. He also disables Trunks Cheetah well, or at least Trunks Cheetah has to answer him with the Gohan Videl card or another card. He's just very good as your last card in turn 2 when you afterwards immediately pass to your opponent. Because you know, okay, there will be one energy at least, or at least one play from my opponent, which solely concentrates on this card. So the chances of surviving are higher, which is very, very good. Then we have 3 copies of Vegeta, Interplanetary Training. So his wording is very odd. When you combo him in at your turn, you can do 2 effects for 1 energy. So he comes into play first, and then your opponent either bottom decks a hand card, which is kind of odd for blue to do, but whatever. Or your opponent, and now I cite that card, places one of the battle cards with an energy cost of 4 or less at the bottom of its owner's deck. So this card ignores barrier, basically. And if my opponent only has 1 card on his field, or is left with 1 card or 2 cards maybe with barrier on his field, he has to bottom deck one of those cards. In round 2 at these regionals, I played against Frieza Swap, and this card destroyed Frieza Swap. Because he was going into his chain, played the 1-drop, passed. Then I had my turn 2, and I played this card, and the 1-drop was gone. Or the 3-cost was gone, whatever. And then he had to basically do the chain anew. He lost tempo, he lost time. Same applies for the Master Roshi and Shen combo. You can let your opponent bottom deck one of them if there are no other battle cards on your opponent's side, which he wants to bottom deck. He's situationally very, very good. And he's also a 15k single strike beater if you want him for that. Yeah. Then, for the aggro matchups, we have 2 copies of Chilled Army's Retribution.
Yeah.
One of the few extra cards in my side deck. When I'm awakening, I'm at 5 lives, so this one is immediately up. And in testing, especially against something like Pan, this card is worth its money. It's pretty good.
Yeah, staple for blue.
Yeah. Then 2 copies of Decisive Strike. Basically against yellow. I mean, there are times Koitsukai is enough, but there is also yellow. And, you know, since yellow does not have a limit 1 for, let's say, Frieza, the Mechanic Riposte one, or other Floodgate cards, this card does come in handy. It does also come in handy because most opponents do not think about this card when you're swinging into them, and you have a Z battle card in play in turn 2 anyways, right? So they just pay like their last energy, and then they have no energy left, and they somehow think, oh fuck, this turn will be hard. Pretty good card. I like it. Then for Vegito, 2 copies of Shin, because Vegito is just scary, and he gets around my Gohan Floodgate because he can play 1-cost drops, which he can bottom deck afterwards. Shin is disabling that. I did not play it at the regionals because I did not face Vegito, and this card is solely here for Vegito at the moment. Because against Gohan, I can just stay on 2 energy. I don't have a problem with that, because to be real, I have 3 energy every turn. This is okay. I just want to go to 3 energy when I see my secret rare. But against Vegito, this card is brilliant. Then we have 2 copies of Sangoku and Oop, Newfound Journey.
Oh, this one is so good. Yeah.
Still, I have mixed feelings for it, at least in this deck. the main so everything about him is great. He's 15k. He has 2 character names, so I can use him for my Z Battle card Goku. He has dual attack deflect. He searches another Earthling, for example, a Shu, which gives another 10k combo power. So on paper, he's brilliant. He can even give 1 card back to your opponent's hand if you want to do that. I don't do that most of the times. However, deck space is tight, and he comes earliest turn 3. And as stupid as this sounds, I rarely use him in turn 3 because I have better targets to play. And I played him in many games, and oftentimes he just gets removed when I'm going all in with that swing, which was kind of depressing to see. I still.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
No, go on. Sorry.
No, I see your logic. Like in some other slower decks, yes, but here you also go through your deck so rapidly fast. You're probably seeing what you're trying to dig for anyway.
Yeah. So this is a good target if you want to play him for your Vegeta Z Battle card to warp him for your 3rd turn. You can do that as well. This is pretty good. I still have him in my sideboard for decks that do not charge Z energy, and therefore the other 8-drop oop is kind of useless. That's why he's here at 2 copies, basically. So I can switch them out. And then, because yellow is still annoying, we have another copy of Oop.
Yeah.
Because 3 is better than 2, and yellow is countering a lot. So I want to see this dude more often, basically. Just a ratio fix. Yeah, as you can see, this card is kind of against yellow. This card is kind of against yellow. This card is against yellow. This card is against yellow. Because yellow is your worst matchup. And I hate playing against yellow, but it is what it is.
Yeah, true. Yellow is special. So, anyway, thanks for showing us the deck. Before we conclude, do you have any shoutouts?
Yes, I want to make shoutouts. Firstly, to you, Damien. As I said in the beginning, your Gohan guide was the first video I watched while getting into this leader and into this deck, and I watched it multiple times because at first I did not understand how to play this deck. And I still think it's very hard to play, but it has so much potential and it's so great. So first shout out to you, Damien, and for your hard work, for the whole community, for the live streaming, for the videos, for everything.
Thank you.
Yeah. Then an obvious shout out to the Kame House. Basically, when you're from the DACH region, which means if you're German-speaking, when you're from the German-speaking audience, either Austria, Germany, or Switzerland, we are a Discord server. We are an online community which plays online often, and these guys took me in, and now I'm also part of the admin team there. And I hope we're doing good work. If you want to learn the game, and if you're having trouble understanding English, but you still made it this far to the video, please come around. We're really great guys. I hope.
Yeah, I can safely say that I have met some awesome people at Kame House, guys. Definitely go check them out.
Yeah, and lastly, also to meta games. Most people of you will most likely new meta games. Also great server to play. They have also weekly locals. It's also great to play there. There are very, very, very good opponents you can test against. Also huge shout out to them and to Manu specifically because he runs the metagame server.
Yeah, so that's it, guys. Thank you, Bastian, for coming here and showing us the deck. Guys, this has been Gohan. Link is in the description below. And yeah, this has been Damien from the Lookout, and I'll see all of you in the next video.